Hello there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 1v1 for Total War Rome 2. This is a battle between myself and fellow Heaven clan member Paladinbob. So let's load her up and we'll see. I took the Getae and he took Macedon. Now the Getae are basically Dacia. So yeah, they're basically just a mixture of Dacian type people, so more or less Dacia for those of us who are familiar with Rome Total War. And of course Macedon obviously is Macedon. So you can see the armies here. What I really like about these Balkan kind of barbarians type factions like Dacia, Thrace, the Aradai and those other ones like that, is their peltists are excellent, very high damage and pretty good shield and armor value for like a peltist style unit, so they can take quite a beating from other missiles, and they can really tear up enemy infantry very effectively, and I really like that about these factions. They're quite interesting in my opinion, a good mixture of, I find they've got some pretty good cav to go with their infantry, to be honest, and of course there's always the Falx based units which are always good. So this was the mausoleum of the mausoleum at Halicarnassus map, or the mausoleum of Mausolus. But anyway, yeah, my army consists of, up front I have 2 units of spearmen. These guys are screening my pelters here. I have 4 Dacian heavy skirmishers. As you can see, look at the weapon damage. So I guess you can go into a bit of a melee fight, like in supporting roles. Armor's 55, and of course critically they've got some pretty high missile damage at 35, so that's a pretty good missile unit right there. Let's get a good look at those guys, they look pretty good too. So they're quite a heavy pelter style unit. Then I got 4 of these excellent noble swords. These guys are very expensive, so I could only get 4 of them, but I knew with Macedon that, actually I'm going to go to slow motion while I outline this. I knew with Macedon that it's a good chance I could be fighting effective thorax swords or some a solid pike screen perhaps, or I'd definitely get some good cavalry options. So I wanted some pretty strong infantry here. I wanted something that had armor as well, and a sizable shield. I didn't want to go with too many kind of unarmored units, like too many Falxmen stuff, because Macedon can bring good missile options as well, so I wanted to have that ability to kind of have quite a bit of resistance to missile fire. But I have brought Falxmen because I want to get them into the flank. Obviously they've got terrible melee defense and like virtually no armor, so these guys would be shredded by missiles, wasted by cav on the charge, anything like that. But if I get them into the flank or in support on stationary cav, that weapon damage and melee attack will do quite a bit of damage. And these guys are really cheap too, so you know they can be pretty effective and they're pretty cool actually. Then in the back, no, they're my spears actually, they just got behind. Wait, no, it's not. I bought 4 spears. I bought 2 spears to help me in a cav fight because, again, Macedon's got some really good shock cav, and it's also got the Aspis companion cav, which I was hoping Bob wouldn't bring because they'd be very good against me. Overall, he's got faction advantage here, but if I use my tactics right, I'll be okay. So, and then for cav, I got these noble horsemen, which are shock cavalry, not melee cavalry. I think I got 2, I thought I had more than that. Okay, I must only have 2 of those. So yeah, I was hoping to use spears and Falxmen to help me in the cav fight while I use my missiles to break through and then use my heavy infantry to finish it off. But look at Bob's forces. He's got, let's see, looks like he's got a Thessalian cav, a companion cav general, a citizen cav, and that's all he's got for cav, so that's quite good for me. But it also means he could have a lot more very powerful infantry, but I personally find the best assets of Macedon are cavalry and missiles. The infantry's still good, there's no doubt, but there are other factions that can outdo them. He's got these thorax swordsmen, which are excellent, middle tier level swordsmen. That's tough, they take quite a bit of beating. I find them to be quite effective, but he's only got 3 of them. Where I think Bob went wrong here with his build is, as you can see, he's brought 4 units of foot companions, which are extremely expensive pikes, at 1300 a piece. Sure, they're very powerful and they can take basically anything on the front, but nobody goes into the front of pikes. And pikes are very hard to use. This battle was patch 14, and at that stage Pikes are very, very hard to use, very hard to be aggressive with, very hard to kind of maneuver them and use them, and very easily outflanked. And if I get into the sides of these or flanks these with my swordsmen, they're just going to get wasted. And if I get my missiles into them, they'll get wasted as well. So I really think, to be honest, at patch 14, Pikes were pretty redundant for the most part. At least like elite pikemen like this, you're just better to bring crappy ones because they do the same role and you end up saving a lot more money. He's got some Cretan archers as well, so anyway, that's that. So let's go to normal speed. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to advance up and use my spears to screen here and just push his slings back. He's got 2 slingers I forgot as well. And then I'm going to start putting heavy pelters fire down on these foot companions to thin them out. And I'm seeing Falksmen, Spearmen and Cav up around the left rather, to get the high ground on Bob. So I'm sort of forcing my way forward here, but he's going to push his foot companions up. But I'm bringing up my Dacian heavy skirmishers, but I've kept my spears nearby just in case Bob were to try and make a quick strike. So let's see these guys here, how quickly I use concentrated fire on 1 unit at a time instead, and I'm going to actually sacrifice these spears now just to hold his guys here so I can give myself more time to throw more of my javelins. As you can see, Bob's having a hard time getting them to kind of coordinate. As you can see, they're very tricky to use, pikemen. They certainly can be effective if used properly, but it's not easy to do it. And as you can see, look, this unit's already down by 40 men. This unit's already down by 40 men, and these other units are too far back at the moment. So I mean, look at this unit's down, lost 50 men, and I can keep holding him up here with these on my spears. I mean, he'll destroy them, but it doesn't matter because it gives me more time. Up here, I get a nice shock charge on him. Bob tried disengaging from it, so I got the better charge here with my shock cavalry, which is good. So it should be a pretty close match up here, and I'm actually following through with some Falksmen and some Spearmen. And again, look, if you look over here, I mean, he's got this first row of spears, but he's lost. Look at this foot companion's down to 60. It's lost half its numbers, and it's only killed 21 men. He's pouring in his thorax swordsmen. These are a danger, so I'm getting my Falksmen in up here quickly. I notice Bob's general's in up here, so I'm going to try and kill that as quickly as I possibly can, because the destruction of his general will obviously do morale damage everywhere. Now what I'm doing here is I'm splitting up my swordsmen now to go into different areas, and basically creating massive holes in Bob's army. And now I'm wrapping my cav around out here because I've got my spearmen and various other units in here to wrap up what's left of his own cavalry. And I'm able to use my noble swords, and as you can see, his citizen cavs got quickly destroyed. Over here, as you can see, I've outflanked his swordsmen here, which are pretty weakened. And look at this foot companion; it's terribly outflanked, or terribly disorganized, taking javelin fire, and it routs immediately under the pressure. And over here, look, this one's flanked as well. He's trying to get shots down. Look at that, just a few volleys from my infantry and my javelins there, and he's lost like at least half the men that were in that unit just then. And all his cohesion's lost, and now his missile units can't support him. His missile units could have forced back my guys a bit, but he can't do it because I've now got my guys into them. And over here, I'm going to use my noble swordsman to get at his thorax swordsman, and my noble swordsmen are much better, more elite units, and they'll easily cream me in battle. Over here, as we can see, the thorax swordsmen are chasing here, but Bob's army's all spread out now. Over here is some more thorax swords, but I'm going to get my Falksmen right into the flank here, and I'm going to pour in some of these noble swords as well. And again, there's not much you can do about it. And when his flanks got hit by these Falksmen, it's just brutal, because these kind of units are very, very good when they get a flank or a rear charge or anything like that. They're not so great on the frontal because they haven't got much armour, but if you can get them in the flank like that, you can do a lot of damage. And then I see his foot companions coming up, so I brought my cavalry in from behind to basically just disrupt the phalanx, and that'll allow my infantry just to cut it open anyway. It's still pretty. I mean, if you can get units attacking on the front of foot companions, it'll defeat like anything. But it's just so hard to do it, and it's so easily. You're so easily able to outflank them and split them up, which is exactly what I was able to do here. Over here, I managed to get these last few little bits of Bob's units here, and as you can see, the phalanx breaks up. It's very, very hard to use pikemen. And it's not worth getting expensive pikes, because you can do all the same things with cheap pikes. So that gives you more money to spend on other units. So it's disappointing, because pikes are interesting to use, there's no doubt. and it's a big part of Macedonian warfare. But it's good to know that on the Emperor's edition that they're bringing out, that I'm pretty sure Pikes will probably are getting a look at. I think I haven't exactly heard. I need to look into other people's videos, but I'm pretty sure Pikes are improved. At least it seems to be the case on the beta. So that's good to know, because Pikes need to be easier to control and maneuver and use. I mean, if you remember on the initial release of Rome 2, Pikes were just unstoppable, pretty much. They were so quick to reform and maneuver and stuff, but recent patches have made that much harder, which is somewhat realistic, but you don't want to make it so hard that they're basically redundant, which is kind of what's happened. So that's basically what caused a lot of issues for Bob there in that fight. If we look at the statistics here, I mean, look at these heavy skirmishers here. Not very many deaths, but lots of kills there. They just got tons of kills. My cavalry got a lot of kills. Killed his cav and then got all his missiles and then got several rear charges. As you can see, my noble swordsmen, they racked up quite a number of kills, and they were only just getting started. Had this fight been longer, they would have got a lot more. My spears acted as support and holding, and the Falksmen got some nice hits into the flank. If we look at Bob here, his very expensive foot companions, only one of them got any kills, and that's probably just against these crummy spears, so it's not really worth it. He didn't have this army. The foot companions drain this. I mean, they're 1,300 each, so that's like 50 to 5,300 or so, or something like that. It's over 5,000 anyway. 5,200, I think, something like that. So he took half his money nearly on these foot companions, and they just didn't work for him because expensive pikes are not worth it. If you look at these thorax swordsmen, even though they were in some terrible positions, they did a lot better, and he had much easier time using them. So that's why swords are better to use. But if you are going to use pikes, I just recommend like levy pikes, or maybe just the pikeman level, because they're very difficult to use. But anyway, good game to Bob. As you know, Bob has a channel, fellow Heaven Clan member, and an excellent player, and I'll link his channel. So I've got another one coming up with Bob soon for Rome 2, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Good game to Bob, and I'll link his channel, so be sure to drop by and check it out. An excellent player. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon next time.